rocking. So good job for that. That was my main goal. That was my main goal for this session here. So we'll go ahead and get caught up. So we got about 5 minutes until the open. We do have data at 7 a.m. and 6:45, so we'll be looking out for that for sure. Already got our news information up and running. Go ahead and get this straightened up. Good Lord. All right, there we go.
Just an update here via AFP on Air France. They are to suspend their Cuba services soon due to a fuel lack.
Reduce these a little bit. And let me reopen. I wish this would snap. But no problem. Alright. Alright, be right back.
Update via the UK MTO has received a report of an incident 20 nautical miles west of UAE's Dubai. More details on that. So a container ship has reported witnessing a splash from an unknown projectile in close proximity to the vessel, although no damage to the vessel has been reported.
Alright, so here we are. So we're looking at yesterday. Again, yesterday we had a fairly big gap down. And the majority of that was retraced and then more. I'll go ahead and go through my process real quick. I already looked at some of it. Alright, so we do need to remember that the monthly has been bearish, weekly has been a bit bearish slash neutral for the most part. So really anybody can have the advantage at this point. As of right now, I still say it's 50-50 due to the bears holding price down, but the bulls are on the bottom of the range, and you would assume some sort of retracement higher. Regarding of the overnight session, clearly this is a bullish situation. As long as they hold above prior days initial balance mid, then we should be looking, buyers should be relatively safe. So I mean, they'll have to really go down a decent amount from the overnight high. They have to go down over 1%. So anything can happen for sure. But it's definitely a lower likelihood. I will say that the overall weakness to strength is still about even. Tech has sold off a little bit more, but overall, regarding the daily standpoint, they're still doing fairly decent. Again, as long as buyers hold VWAP, that's the main thing, and then really just prior DGPs will kind of walk them down. Yesterday was a trend type day. Bulls had controls pretty much by the rip, so OTF clearly present. Again, under the initial balance and the for the high and then the mid, which will take you back to the open for both. Pre-market, we have the, go ahead and take a snapshot. We do have we have technology that's leading. We do have data at 7 a.m., 6:45, a little bit lighter. for the most part, volume is pretty big. So, I do expect some moves, some aggression. Now, will it be directional? We don't know, but we can expect some sort of aggression off the open. Go ahead and cut this. I like having it start about like right here. Just a good reminder of where we were. We got about a few seconds. Really aggressive business that's the first 15 seconds. Almost at the overnight high for ES, they're right there. Overnight high is broken, and that's prior HOD as well. That's higher for the overnight high for both. At least for the scenarios that we're seeing, maybe likely that we should maybe have a reduction in gold somewhere between the 5 and then probably settle. Other scenario will have a straight over drive, put us back into the prior week's close in cues there a lot closer to the prior week's close. They actually just hit it opposed to the S&P 500. With them, they're trying to get back to that February 50% from low to high. Again, tech is leading for the most part. I wouldn't say finance is holding them down, but they're not as strong. But the back half of the ES, including healthcare and really communications, really isn't doing the best at the moment. So, as of right now, looks like that we may be getting more of the, maybe that first scenario, more of this open auction. But again, it's only been 2 minutes. PMIs does come out at 6:45, so we'll see what we're looking at that moment. Not really seeing much on the delta. Of course, we got a seller that's just kind of showing up now. Alright, call it 633. Primarily looking here. R2Y is actually the leader as of right now. So if money is going to small caps, you would imagine that may be being removed from another place, being rotation. Strong bar for tech, not so much for the S&P 500. Hit that overnight high, it immediately pushed back.
Just making you aware of remarks from CNBC's favour says have heard nothing to support a SpaceX and Tesla merger.
Okay. if I stop for sure above this high. Really wouldn't want to see past these 53s, 54s, or just have one. Just kind of keeping it small, at least for now, just to kind of test. This is the open account. Got volume spooling here. I had my finger on the trigger to kill at like the 49. Really didn't care for how this volume was pulling up. I'd imagine it's going to be a little bit of an explosion to get out of here.
2.3, while the composite revised to 52.3.
I'm really not trying to see this come back. Because they'll have to break through here. That actually may be where I need to add. Again, that's the low on ES. Not really caring for how that's kind of bouncing back up. Definitely could have stayed, but again, that's just a quick little scout there. We'll see if that continues, but again, it looks like we may be looking at this scenario one of this open auction somewhere between overnight high and that prior settle, which is a decent amount of a range. I mean, that's a good more than 0.5%, so that gives them a lot of room to kind of move around. About 78 basis points for the NQ. How many points did that end up being? 10, sure. I still think I could have did the 2 contracts, but yeah, I'm not gonna sweat it. All right, seem to be getting that rotation down. We can actually look and see where it's coming from. Broadcom, who has their earnings a little later on. The top 3 getting smoked, bottom 3. So I mean, pretty much everybody. Healthcare is already selling a bit. Just coming some of the earlier upside, ES now down to around 68.30. NQ up down to 89. And I'm not sure if that was due to that denial of the war talks or whatever. Again, I have my stuff muted. That was just kind of based off what we were seeing on the dom, to be perfectly honest. Again, volume was spooling up for a little bit. Just happened to release lower. Again, we're still expecting this to be more of a kind of open auction type of open. So some good selling on the RTY. They're already down about 0.5%. Possibly should have been keeping my eye on them. And this be another 3-minute candle. Tech is still holding a little bit better. Again, the back half of the S&P 500 is really weighing them down. Alright, I'm trying this here. Again, another long. Again, we're just doing one at the moment. So the VWAP pretty much is right below. So even if they do kind of hit that, we want to see the response. They have prior settled under it, but ideally the target is to get back up to that midpoint. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in and break even. It's just real quick. I don't really care how it's kind of leaning back like so. Ideally, you would think to give it a little more room to maybe go to the low, see if it creates a new low, but given an open, we're just trying to keep it moving. Just keep it moving in and out. It's fine. I think that's why it's important for us to have two. I'm a little more comfortable with the speed, but do be mindful that we have we have data coming out in about 5 minutes, and I'm pretty sure subscribers get it at 3 minutes earlier or whatever the case is. So do know that we have tech that's kind of leading, not leading down, but going down with the S&P 500 right now. So I'm just gonna kind of keep my hands off. We don't the environment has kind of changed. Just a little gap there that they can't fill. This pushes back down to those 27s. If it looks decent, I may or may not try to get back in, but this can easily just kind of fall down. Again, this is a different situation, but the NQ is right back at their open. Yeah, really those 27s. All right.
Just an update concerning Trump's
Then that's the
imperial
VWAP.
to Venezuela to push oil and mining.
See if it's a reaction or if they just continue to slice
Reports
through.
to price obesity drug reasonably close at parity with therapies that do not offer cholesterol lowering benefits. Speaking at the TD Cohen conference.
No sort of bounce. NQ is close to making a new low, but they did not. Goal line safe. But they're definitely not out of the woods yet. Pretty sure I have my wrist settings locked. Yeah. Again, PMI is coming out fairly soon. So again, ES is really stuck on these lows. I'm definitely in the weaker product at the moment.
Just more details on that Interior Secretary US visit to Venezuela. So to
See if
unveil
they can get
the
filled.
initial
It's a lot of
policy
gaps in
package.
here. It's fairly weak. That was like a run up and then a stop. Definitely a little slow to get out at that point.
Just an update here from the China Foreign Minister says the safety of
I
shipping
just
routes
got
is
out on
being
one.
safeguarded.
Yeah. I will say I am going in alignment with this higher time frame candle. So I'll at least give me that. My first trade was in accordance to that. Delta is negative overall for this open. Holding a little bit into earnings, but again, this is still more on
And we are shortly just looking out for the S&P Global Services PMI revision for February.
the original scenario one. We're right at that view up. Again, this could clearly get smoked, but we reduced our size. Though I did not notate if this is negative, then then what?
That's revised from the 52.3 that was expected. That's 51.7 is revised, but it does confirm the 7-month of expansion for the reading. In terms of composite, that was revised to 51.
Pretty sure I have settled 24. So yeah, not the prior close. Doing a good job of not staying at the 1 minute candle, just letting the depth of market tell me the actual flow. I wanted to add really like on these 20s, but so looks like we may have our opportunity, which is not necessarily a good thing. But again, we're looking more of this open auction between the overnight high and the prior close. We ended up getting some out of some of our contracts just to kind of reduce the risk.
Further from the general executive says company is actively looking at acquisition opportunities.
So as of right now, we got possibly a open rejection reverse, rejecting further upside, pushing lower. We had a continuation under the under the DGPs, trending lower under the moving average. Want to see if we get any more kind of upside. Again, this is still with the 138 minute candle, so good job there. And just because there's some upside right now doesn't mean it's cause for us to flatten or add at this moment. This is just a simple reclaim. If they can even hold up here another 15 seconds, which it definitely may drop. But again, this is just more for scenario one, which I probably should have added a little earlier. But again, we don't know if sellers are gonna show up again at this initial balance mid or our first test of these DGPs. Buyers have the control for the most part, so we're not in a rush to get out of this. However, sellers are initiating again towards these highs, which they've been doing. We've been in a downtrend for the longest, for sure. So we don't want to look too much into this. But just be careful. We reduced our risk a little earlier. That was the right thing. Should maybe got out of it all and bought a little bit more towards the lows, a little more aggressive. But that would have been taking information risk. And I don't have the best position, but I mean, be perfectly honest, if I just would have waited and bought this here, I mean, that would have been, with maybe getting slipped or something. I'm at the same price of buying, this close there. So it ended up working out there. If anything, maybe buying a little bit more on this NASDAQ, but they're looking like possibly an open auction as well. But they're just open. They're doing this balancing, this coiling right at the prior HOD. Definitely sellers are showing up near the highs. We'll go ahead and clean out this volume, or the delta rather. I have not went down to the 1 minute candle once. Alright, that 5 minute candle is finna finish.
I'm just coming up to data in 10 minutes. We are looking out for the ISM services reading for February. Headline expected at 53.5, down from the prior 53.8. Employment last time out 50.3, prices 66.6, business activity 57.4, and then new orders.
Maybe getting close to a time to add, but again, we have finance that's kind of getting smoked, and again, that back half is still a bit weak, but being kind of carried by technology at the very moment. Got some sellers here. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get one more. Again, really not the best execution right now. I had an opportunity to kind of sell a little earlier. But I mean, if we end up making a new low, I mean, I just got to get out of this because at this point, we're going to be looking at more of a continuation, and this is going to be the true open rejection reverse, which is directional in its own way. They had these gaps, are filling them, and they're getting some more after that. Not the best sign of, strength or urgency for the buyers. These prices aren't cheap. We keep finding our way back here. Again, as of right now, we're still getting directionless on the S&P 500. If anything, direction to the downside on on the uh, on the SPU. Ideally, you really wouldn't want to see this past these 24s. You're gonna have to be careful. We don't have stops on here. All right, went ahead and got one. So my average price is like really down there. Again, really not in too much of a rush to really get out of this, given the situation. If this is going to be still more on scenario one, I mean, I really need to have like my stop below. I mean, that's 50 points, or I mean, 10 points. And so be it. But it's a really good chance that we kill at these 24s. Really shouldn't get below that hump. Feel like I'm really wasting too much money, but not wasting too much money, but trying to be right, opposed to trying to make money. Really, making money would be more getting out of these 24s, to be perfectly honest. Go ahead and check in since we did that 43 right before. We still have technology doing their thing. That back half is still a little bit weak for the most part, with you know healthcare really dragging down, but finances has flipped green again. So I mean that's really all that matters, and communication is kind of doing their thing. So definitely a good chance that this falls its way back. But I mean I'm leaving my stop below the low. We've already scaled out a couple times. Um, yeah, won't be the worst idea to kind of go ahead and flatten up here. But I'm not sure, to be perfectly honest. Really, it'd be below these like 24s, but I really can't see this making a new low. If it does, then you know, prior settle has already been hit, and the response from there was to spool, down spike, push up, hold, push up again. So at this point, we had leg one, unable to do leg two. This is the opportunity for sellers to do leg two. Buyers, they're having their response here for this leg one. Technically, this would be like leg two, but that's just like really short. So again, just more of this open auction, like I mentioned. So the fact that the low, from low to high, buyers have been in control, for the whole overnight. I'm not gonna shortchange them and try to get out of this um, quicker than I quicker than I should. As of right now, tech is still kind of holding. The more that tech leads lower, if tech breaks their 70s, ES will be breaking their 20s, their mid 20s as well. Then that may be a little bit more of a sign, but at that point, we should be getting close to being stopped out, which looks like it may happen. So, not really, not really stressing it at the moment. Again, from what we're seeing, open auction, open auction on the tech. We have a open rejection reverse on the S&P 500, and looks like sellers are defending that direction at this midpoint slash open, and we'll see if they're going to continue. I will say if they are to push back up these 40s, I'll go ahead and add one more as like a buy stop and just be really quick to um, kind of close if needed, because that's going to put my stop from the 27s to the 13. So I end up bringing like 30.
Update here for DraftKings betting names as well as prediction names. The White House going to review a new prediction market measure from the CFTC.
Again, we got a bunch of buyers by Delta. They're not really getting paid. Some decent effort, and we're just sitting here spooling in a lower B shape from what we can see here. And if this isn't hit before the data, I may go ahead and remove that buy stop, but we'll see. So it looks like we may end up closing around this area for the most part. So with that being said, still at the open auction, but more of an open test drive for the for the for the NQ using the prior HOD as support, and the S&P 500 is using the prior settle prior close as a somewhat as support. But the fact that the open is higher than where it is now, and we're kind of hanging around, I mean, that's really just more like an open
This
auction.
is the top of the hour. Once again, looking out for the ISM February report. Headline seen at 53.5 down from the prior 53.8.
So do remember that we have like some higher buy delta at the moment, and we have some data coming in. It's not the biggest data, so you may not see a lot of offsetting prior to the to the data release, but if prices to continue going lower, and no surprise if you see people kind of weasel out of their positions because they don't want to have that risk on. But again, that's more like a shorter time frame. If you're on a higher time frame OTF, you're gonna hold on to your positions until you're just forced to liquidate. So so let's see here. So I mean, I'll leave this there as well.
10 seconds.
So it's ended up being open auction on the ES, open test drive for the NQ.
Headline 56.1 above the expected 53.5.
All right. I got it at other. I actually meant to do. I actually meant to do break even on that second one, but I closed it. It's fine. NQ did not. Hold on. Alright, so I actually ended up making an error there again. Just want to kind of understand from what it looks like. Looks like it kind of came in as expected, so it is what it is. But I really didn't care for how they pushed up and just kind of like stalled for a second. Again, I meant to do break even, but that was a user error on my side. All right, no problem. And I also saw how the technology didn't make a new high at the moment, so it is what it is. I ended up making a few errors, but it's. I'm gonna go ahead and mute the guy. Go ahead and mute him. So we have the. So sorry about that. So yeah, we have the NQ that was pushing essentially to the highs and just kind of like stalled, which is fine. We don't expect it to completely like blow through, but the fact that we kind of pushed up on the ES, didn't even get close and kind of stopped, that was enough for me to go ahead and kind of get out of one of my positions. And I ended up needing to do the break even, but ended up hitting close. I would have went ahead and straight buy, but again, the fact that the 8 bracket was a open auction and we had a little bit pushed to that other extreme doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna quickly break. You would expect this to break on the NQ given the open test drive of the prior HOD and pushing to the initial balance high. It's really not the same situation as the S&P 500. I should have took the little notes. I mean the little checkpoint before the release, but really finance is still kind of pushing. Healthcare is still doing the same thing for the most part, and we're still seeing a little bit of that weakness and them being stagnant on that back half. So I'm gonna go ahead and do another checkpoint here as an update, and we'll see where we're looking. I do want to take a look at the RTY and see how they're pushing. So okay, that looks how that looks. I mean, you still have an opportunity to buy at this point, but I really don't feel comfortable getting on the S&P 500 given that they're open auction, because this would be literally buying in the middle, and that's kind of what we're seeing right now. It doesn't mean that sellers are gonna win this specific battle at this point, but the fact that you have NQ also breaking that 7 a.m. candle, and now you have ES that was already kind of leaning lower, that's just really too much pressure on the downside. So we even got the volume kind of picking up. And again, this is, it shouldn't be getting this aggressive for the buyers, for them to have control. So they're kind of letting things go. I've done my order flow ratings, but I mean, as of right now, it was really like a 5, -5 +5. It's kind of like in the middle for the most part. Buyers on the NQ was maybe like a +6, +7, pushing it up, but still kind of letting it fall down. Really, the ES was really like maybe a +5. They were just kind of wishy-washy on the buy side. But we are seeing sellers kind of, show their hands and push it down and keep it down. Anytime there was a gap, they were able to um, fill that zero print, just in a few seconds and really kind of push it lower. So we're finding prices in the middle of this range at the low 30s to be, consistent. If these were cheap, we wouldn't continue to find our way back here. So I could buy at this point. We do have this little bit of a box, a little bit of this box going on here. And it's exactly where price kind of came. So I mean, this would be, a decent spot to buy, especially if you're looking at the, fib that ended up being, that F2 range. So, would have been decent, but kind of going not necessarily with my plan at the moment. So I'm okay to miss out on this given the situation that we're looking at. All right, go ahead and pause this.